Alright, and I'm live. Just came back on Twitch and on VOD for YouTube. If you happen to be watching this there, and you probably are because I think last time I was streaming I didn't actually get any viewers, but, you know, maybe that'll change. Who knows? Probably not. I don't know. Apparently I'm having some issues with frame dropping right now, but I don't know. I don't know. No, there we go. It's live. Whatever. Hopefully it'll settle down. Hopefully everything will be fine. If it's not, there's always the VOD. But round of 128 on the CiC Qualifiers, and hopefully we'll be able to cover as many matches of these as we possibly can. And when I say we, I mean me, obviously, because there's nobody to help me, really. Anyway, FaZe versus BMG in this round of 128 match, so there's probably a pretty clear favorite here. Just thinking. Maybe that's the case. You never know that today BMG might perhaps be a little bit of an advantage. They are playing without Limp. Bassett's of Xset. Apparently he's tagged up with Xset. We'll see if he's actually with Xset at any point. But apparently he is playing with them or something like that anyway. Bans are out. Tempest, Puppet Master, Master of Arms, and Sandwraith are going to be removed from the game. Hanskin taking out PM and Sandwraith, so removing two carry options there. Tempest and Master of Arms being taken out by the Legion side. So getting rid of a jungler and picking up a jungler with their second pick. They're clearly interested in running that jungle strat. And Master of Arms, the other band, a little interesting. We don't often see Moa banned. Obviously a very versatile hero. Just doesn't seem like he's all that actually good. Maybe that's just me, but it's meh. I don't know, I've never been a huge fan of him. But whatever, so we'll see if that ban works out for them. I don't think really it's necessary, but especially, you know, Chronos on the board, Benzing's on the board, all sorts of awesome suicides there. Whatever. First two picks here for the Legion side are Rhapsody and Ophelia. I like the Ophelia pick. I think that she's better than some teams are giving her credit for. Just because, you know, she's a bit of a wild card, I guess, now, but you know, we don't really know what's going to happen with her with the new juggle changes. And sorry, I was fixing some other stuff, so I was kind of half paying attention. Jonathan Kidd, Seal Fan, Bassi, Hans, feeling Fuses. Well done. So we'll see how Oaf does in this game. I'm going to assume not particularly well because they're going up against BMG, and perhaps that's not representative of exactly how well she will do in the future, but hey, give her a shot. Disham, going to be the last pick here for the Legion side. Up here we don't see too much, and it is quite powerful. We'll see if they actually, I mean, I assume it's going to be a farmer role just because they have the Ophelia Rhapsody, so having a support Demented Shaman would be a little weird because you've got a jungler and a support already picked up, but definitely a strong hero. I think, prefer him a little bit more in the support role. He seems to be better at throwing heals down than really being an offensive hero, but I know that's probably not that popular in opinion, so I'm not going to say that's the only way to run him, and by all means he is a strong hero, especially if you can get some D-armor on him, put a shield breaker or something like that. All of a sudden his damage output does get pretty crazy. Anyway, Hellborn's pick so far, Torturer, Bubbles, and Parasite. Nothing crazy awesome there, obviously pretty standard. Bubbles presumably going to be that suicide role in the hands of Jonas. Parasite going to be picked up by Handskin, and Torturer going to go to Seal Kid in the typical roles, no doubt. Very strong lineup so far. Obviously Torturer one of the better supports, especially as a zoner, as a babysit support. That impalement just does way too much damage to deal with. And let's see. I'm not sure what dropped frames means. Anyway, and obviously as well in the middle lane as well. So if they pick up somebody who they want to dual lane mid, they can put Torturer mid, or they can put Torturer top. So very strong, versatile lineup so far here. They could also go for their suicide, put Bubbles in the middle lane. They really have kept their options open. I do like the Parasite pick. Normally against another jungler, not such a great idea. Here, it's just better to run a jungler than it is to not run one, especially against an Ophelia who does tend to win 3/4 of her games or so. If she is up against a non-jungle hero or a non-jungle lineup, so hopefully that will be able to get mitigated a little bit, and we'll see. Bans are out. Pebbles, Amun-Ra, and Aluna getting taken out by the Legion side, so 3 heroes we almost never see, and it's a little interesting that they're going to prioritize that sort of stuff, I guess. not really feeling like those are serious options for this Hellborn side. Aluna, they already have a support Torturer, presumably. They could put that in Fuzi's hands, but it seems pretty unlikely, especially because Torturer does almost always get run as a support. But more than that, it's just, like, why would you ban Ra? Nobody plays Ra. Pebbles, you've seen him once or twice recently, but he's just went through this giant phase where we almost never saw Pebbles. So why would you pick him here? Makes very little sense to me. So those bans perhaps wasted more than anything else. Warbeast, Keeper of the Forest, and Slither getting taken out by the Hellborn side. So one short laner, two suicides. Obviously roles that the Legion side still needed to fill, and they will do so with the Pharaoh and the Balfagor picks real quick, as they had wasted most of their time earlier on. And as a result, I have to pick quite quickly here. So Dishon, Balfagor, obviously a strong lane, and actually this is just a crazy awesome pushing lineup is what it is. Dishon, Ophelia, Balfagor, and Rhapsody, all just ridiculously strong pushers. I guess the problem is, one, they don't have much late game, and you have a Drunken Master here on the Hellborn side who is so far the hardest carry in the game, and they could go even more greedy with that if they want to. Put DM mid, they could put a short laner as well. Probably don't need to at this point. You're probably looking for more of a mid-game type lineup just because the Legion side, you don't want to let them run over you. Not that they're probably going to. But the other thing I'm a little concerned with here is the lanes aren't particularly strong. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to lane this. You would assume Pharaoh's going to be the suicide here with Ophelia in the woods. Balfagor, I guess, in the short lane, and then Dishon mid, but either of those could be switched. You kind of wonder who Rhapsody's going to go with. I would suspect it's going to be the Balfagor, so I'm going to call here Balfagor, Rhapsody bottom, Demented Shaman mid, and Pharaoh top with Ophelia in the woods, but those don't seem like particularly strong lanes. Dishon in the middle just won't be able to get kills. Like, that's not what that hero does in middle lane. It might have some pretty solid farm. Going to be difficult to get kills on him, whatever you want to, whichever target you want to pick, but just not really feeling it there. So they go the CD, they do go for the harder carry route. And it is a little greedier, but it's just fine here. It looks like Drunken. No, Bastards will be playing the Drunken, so that'll probably be their mid. And Fuzi going to be in the short lane CD. Torturer probably going to be top with CD. Could also be mid with Drunken, but no. Bastards on the Bubbles, so that's definitely going to be a Torturer top with CD. With Jonas and the Suicide. Drunken, Bubbles mid, solo in Bastards' hands, and that's just fine. You could really switch the DM or the Bubbles. They are both able to handle a solo lane just fine, so I don't really have any issues with that whatsoever. And BMG's lineup looking really strong here. They've obviously got the team fight potential down there. Obviously Bubbles starting things off. Really strong ganks going. I mean, team fight they've got a little of. I don't think they have too much, but the single target damage is crazy awesome here. Between the Parasite, the Drunken Master, and even the CD stealing some damage and using those right-click autos to go crazy. Legion side, they'll be a little better in team fights with the Rhapsody Ultimate, the Balfagor Ultimate, the Ophelia Hell on North, and the Strong Initiation from Pharaoh plus the DM ulti, if they can manage to extend a team fight for a little while. But, I mean, my concern is, one, this is a one-dimensional lineup. This is a push lineup. They've got to group up soon, and they've got to do it hard. So they have to basically spend the first 5 minutes or so in lane, getting whatever they can. And this could be hard, of course, because BMG's skill cap is just that much higher. But once they've done that, well, you know, once they've gotten what they can, they've gotten a few levels. Ophelia's gotten maybe level 5 or level 7. If they want to get really greedy. Honestly, with her, I'd probably come out at level 5 and start taking that bottom tower, especially with Rhapsody and Balfagor in the bottom lane. But they're going to have to basically just group together and take every single tower and hope that that gives them enough of a gold lead to start shutting BMG down. And I suspect that it won't. Again, like, I haven't watched this game. I don't technically know who wins, but I'm not going to play stupid and act like this is an even matchup here. I mean, we've got BMG, who's probably the best team in the game right now, going up in a round of 128 or something like that, I think this is. I don't even remember. No, sorry, this is a round of 64 matchup, so I should change that in the title for the Twitch thing, and that's why my mouse is moving around, because I have exclusive mode on. Anyway. Twitch is screwing. I don't know if my OBS is the problem or what, but I don't think it's uploading correctly, and I don't know why. Anyway. So, like I said, Rhapsody Balfagor bottom, not a huge surprise there. It will be Bassett's on the bubbles and the suicide, and Jonas actually going to be in mid with CiC on this torture. So, let's see how that works out for them. Up top, we've got CD going on Pharaoh 1v1, and this should be a pretty easy lane win for CD. No doubt, Cruzy will have the considerable advantage. Middle lane, Demented Shaman already dead. So, remember what I said before about Disham being difficult to kill? That's not so true when it's 1v1, they're level 1, and you land a couple of stuns. Or 1v2, excuse me. So Disham will port right back middle, and they'll see what they can do about this. Bubbles, meanwhile, getting forced to the bottom lane, so well done by Rhapsody, pushing Bassett's back. And the issue, I guess, here is now Bassett's going to get some lane control as a result of that double archer wave. And Disham obviously going to have a bit of a difficult time here with dual lane, CiC and Jonas already off to a really strong start. 2-minute rune here going to be aimed at by both CiC and level 1 Jigglypuff on this Ophelia. Gets the stun down, does not grab the rune in fact, case the Catman Stomp. Ophelia will pick it up instead, Rhapsody's here as well. So CiC will get chased off. Already has the bottle thanks to Drunken Master, but Ophelia, I'm not really sure where you're going with this. Harassing CiC out is just fine, but you need to go farm, buddy. 157 GPM only, not a hugely awesome start. So, we'll see how Bassett does in this bottom lane. Is one of the more interesting ones to me. See if he can actually grab a counter kill here. It's going to be really difficult for this team to kill him. If they get the Staccatos and followed up with a Silence, that'd be nice, but their burst damage just isn't that high. Wan in the middle lane, meanwhile, drops once again as he gets chased down by the Impalement here. And last stagger will finish him off. Now, if you're going to try to do something with Jonas and Fan, Drunken Master going to get caught off a little bit, taking the bottle charges though, and Ophelia might be need to be a little concerned about this because she's going to get turned on again. Chain Reactions does hit there, Stagger's on top of it, and now she's going to take a couple more auto attacks, one more and she's dead. There it is. There it is. Tries to stop Drunken, doesn't really do anything, so that's what I was concerned about, is all of a sudden DM takes the bottle sips and then Ophelia's like, oh crap, that was a bad idea. So Rhapsody perhaps looking to head middle to support this Demented Shaman, especially because Balfagor probably doesn't need her so much. On the other hand, if you leave Rhapsody, or if you have Rhapsody leave this bottom lane, all of a sudden it's going to be a lot more difficult for Bubbles to, or a lot easier, excuse me, for Bubbles to contest this, and Balfagor's farm could start taking a serious drop. And that's pretty much the last thing you need. Bubbles, or Balfagor needs to get off to a really good start. Disham, you'd like that, but it's a little less essential, I think, because he's not as important to the early game push. Balfagor with those minions, he needs to be able to spam them, which means he needs level 7 as soon as possible, and he needs that ring as soon as possible. And if he doesn't get consistent CS and some good farm, he won't grab it. Top lane, Pharaoh goes down, thanks to a gank here from Parasite, and I just caught the tail end of that, so I won't rewind, but it's pretty simple, I guess, with Parasite coming in on the gank, and then Carpet Disciple being like, look at how fast I am, I have boots, and you do not have boots, and I'm naturally kind of fast, because I'm CD. Level 2 Link there, is it Static Link or something like that? No, that's the Corrupted Conduit. Static Link is the Razor one, I think. I don't even know, why do I know that? I've literally not played Razor in like 6 years. God damn. Anyway. Seal Kid does have an Invis rune, looking to run over here and do something. Pharaoh has jumped mid for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I guess feeling like he can't go back top, but screwing with Disham's levels is not really going to help him so much. Invis Torture coming down bottom, and Parasite's here as well. Rhapsody's, you're in a lot of trouble, buddy. Or maybe they go for Caldavar? I don't know. There's the leech. Chain reaction's actually into 2. Impalement goes down as well. Ophelia's here. Staccato stuns onto Torture. Parasite is taking over that minion, so they're going to try to turn on Rhapsody. They should be able to get her pretty easily here. A couple more auto attacks, that'll be enough. Silence goes down, but that's not going to be able to do much. Alpha Void's goes back by Ophelia, and she's going to take the chain reactions here on top of the leech and the shell surf, and that's another kill. So double tap there for Hanskin. Meanwhile, Jonathan Fan's jumping around with D-Shaman in the middle, but chooses not to do too much else, as he does not have as much support as he usually does when Seal Kid helping pick up those kills in the bottom lane. So, bottom push down here is going to start happening. Glyph obviously goes off. It's going to be difficult to be able to defend this tower. Illusion Rune Torture coming in, and they'll try to do what they can. Alphagor is just going to run away with the Regurgitate going down. And Chain Reactions will help camp the creep players, so they're pretty interested in stopping this push. Obviously, BMG plenty smart enough. They know exactly what the strategy of this lineup is. They can't look at those heroes and not think push. So it looks like Seal Kid will be roaming pretty consistently to bottom lane to try to prevent Rhapsody and Balthagor from taking on the spot lane tower. Notable that level 1 Jigglypuff on Ophelia is still level 4 only. Obviously it needs level 5 to get 2 creeps and level 7 to get 3, so that level 5 is going to be very important for her, and the fact that she hasn't hit it yet, and Balthagor's nearly 7 is a bit of an issue. Balthagor's actually item build here. Ringmail on top of the Ring of the Teacher. He's stacking armor. I'm not sure I agree with that. The Ring of the Teacher is not a huge deal, especially if he wants to keep the push going, but he really needs that mana ring. Balthagor just not a hero that can spam without a mana ring, so bot tower is going to go down here. There's not much they can do. Deny attempt not going to work out, especially as Demented Shaman has joined them in this bottom lane. And Fuzi up top and Corrupted Disciple has basically just been allowed to free farm, and he's actually at this top tower. So they got the bottom tower with their awesome push lineup, and they're actually going to trade bottom lane towers here.
A Legion tower.
So far, not even getting that tower is particularly helpful. Drunken Master going to initiate here onto Balthagor, gets the Scottish stuns out though. Hell on North comes out as well, and Josephine could be in a lot of trouble here. One more auto attack, and he's going to die. Rhapsody will in fact get the last hit, so Jonas jumping in there, a little too over-aggressive. And you can see why he'd think, oh, whatever, I'll just get this kill here. But clearly did not work out so well for him. Meanwhile, in middle lane, let's see what's going to happen here. Ophelia's Free's going to be getting taken over by Parasite. Wallabumby's going to try to trap Parasite. Not going to happen, and he will just walk away. 3 heroes obviously here for the Legion side, now 4. As Rhapsody is running back to base, the only one not here. So the group up has started. We're at 9 minutes in, and not a surprise that they're choosing to join each other in battle as soon as possible. Minions will come out. They're going to start beating down this tower. Drunken off to the side is here along with Parasite Torture, and now they're going to go right into Drunken Shaman. Silence goes down. That's going to finish her. Chain reactions on the Balthagor. He's going to try to run away. That's not going to happen. He goes up into the woods. Shelter is going to follow him. Fuzi's also here. And the Hell on North is going to come out, but it's not going to do much. And Balth dies. So 2 kills there for the Hellborn side, and they protect their tower. Good teamwork. Obviously, the early lane wins, helping very much with their advantage right now. And they're in fact going to move up and do some pushing of their own. Focus this mid tower down. No creep support right now, but the Impalement coming out from Torture, and it looks like they're just going to tank the damage. And I mean, they have a decent push lineup, but it's not great. They have really more creep clear than anything. Not too much building damage outside of Torture's Impalement, but the Shell Surf and the Electric Tide and the Stagger will help eliminate some of the creep waves rather quickly, which is obviously not very nice when pushing. Rhapsody in her own woods here. Going to put a ward right next to CiC's Word of Sight, so that should be countered pretty soon. And Genocide Drunken is looking for somebody, but not going to find them. Obviously, Courier going right over the Word of Sight, so they know somebody's in this wooden area. The tower does fall in the meantime. We have 4 heroes grouped up in the middle. Pharaoh is top by himself, and they're going to try to go for a secondary tower kill. And if BMG don't stop this, they definitely can get that. This is no doubt a strong push lineup, and obviously it's going to be able to do quite a lot to this BMG base if nothing happens. Sakata Sun's there on Torture, not particularly helpful. Drunken Master comes in, plus a Shell Surf. Absolutely the first one to go down. Kelfield onto 2. Balfour putting a good jit trying to stop stuff. Silence is down as well. Up top, CiC actually falls. But Drunken Master's looking to chase down this DM. And and Shaman takes the cell. That's going to be Facets falls as well, though. Wangwan. Pharaoh comes in with the release of the Wrath of the Pharaoh. Gonna try to die to Gongor. Is this Ophelia? That's not gonna happen. Balthor, meanwhile, looking to run away. Pharaoh here, perhaps looking for some help. And actually, Crump is in a lot of trouble. He's gonna drop as well. So 3 deaths for this BMG team. Balthor should be okay here, as Drunken's gonna find it a little difficult to deal with Pharaoh and Balthor both here. In fact, nope, Jonas and Fan has enough mana to get the stagger and the lunge off, and he will be able to take out the Balthor. And now could be in some trouble. Sagata Suns are down as well. Pharaoh's out of mana. CiC's there to help, and he's going to be able to try to turn this on to Rhapsody, but nope, the heal from the Dimension Shaman comes in, and Jonas actually dies. So DD Rune picked up CiC on Torture, but will not account for much, as he's getting body blocked a little bit by the Balthor minions, but that's not going to prevent him from being able to get away. So a bit of a good fight there, actually, for the Legion side. Picked off about 3-4 hero kills there. I believe Hanskin on that Parasite was the only one who did not die. Nonetheless, it is a 60 gold lead and an 8k experience lead for BMG, so they are no doubt in control of this game. Lane controls are lots of bad manners going on. Bubbles is going to try to siege on this bot tower. Obviously not going to be able to do too much by himself, but does do a fair bit of damage. And the Shell Surf obviously helping with the creeps, so they're going to look to pressure this bottom tower, and we'll see if they actually get any support. CiC's sort of nearby, and the Impalement will be valuable, obviously countering that ward we talked about a little earlier. So this bot tower is in a lot of trouble, and it in fact is going to go down.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion
Save it,
tower.
obviously, so I hate those glyphs, man. If you're not going to defend the tower, don't glyph. It's a waste. Up top, Jonas will look to get collapsed on by Balthor, Rhapsody, and the Pharaoh. He's just going to run away with the Unbreakable active. Should be totally fine, and is. Meanwhile, off to the side, Poozy, in fact, going to run into Ophelia here. Minotaur Stomp is going to catch him out of the Parasites in the Wild Hunter. Gets a chop in the Bummy Walls, and Poozy's going to drop here as the entire Legion side collapses on him. And they're going to look to turn that into a top tower place. They should be able to get this relatively easily. Facets in the bottom lane has a teleport, and we'll see if they choose to defend this. I suspect they won't. Jonas and Fan off to the side looking to run away from Ophelia will be just fine, but top tower is going to drop.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
And the 5 of them will continue to the secondary tower here in mid, which I assume that the guys in BMG are going to defend. It's pretty unlikely, I think, that they're just going to... Oh, well, we'll let this tower go as well. We're going to let you have all our towers now. Facets is here, CiC is here, 3 seconds, 2 seconds on Fuzi, and I suspect we're going to see some countering. Joseph has an Invis Room off to the back side. Minotaur there on Parasite. He's going to jump on a Dimension Shaman and immediately go down. Nice Rhapsody ultimate, going to stop him immediately though. And we'll see what else. Hell North is going to go out. Hanskin just going to barely able to live. Rhapsody died earlier, and Hanskin actually does fall. Balthor dying as well. Pharaoh getting chased down. Mummy Walls go up. They're going to try to save him. Ophelia not going to be so lucky. Shell pops the health pot, and the Shell Surf will knock it off. Plus the Electric Tide finishes off. So that's a genocide. And that will be a solid win, obviously, for the Hellborn sides. They only lose Hanskin. They take 4 heroes. They defend their top tower, and they're probably going to turn this into a push. We have 3 heroes here cleaning up the jungle, but no, maybe not a push. Maybe they'll just farm. So 70-7 in favor of BMG, obviously having a substantial lead at this point, but nothing really insurmountable, I guess. It's going to be difficult to surmount, but there's a path to a comeback here for the Legion side, especially as their push continues to grow, and it will get stronger at least for the next few minutes, as Ophelia is hitting 7, but they don't have too many push items. Disham only 9. Once he hits 11, that'll be helpful. Rhapsody, as she continues to get levels and dance for her, will obviously be more and more valuable. At this point, really, I mean, this is definitely a mid-game oriented team, so once they start getting substantial items, they'll be able to do a little more in the push department. Meanwhile, off the side, Ophelia going to get jumped on by Parasite. We'll see if she can actually do anything. Catman Champion, Stomp already used, and Parasite going to try to chase Ophelia down. Will just be able to have the leech back up and kill him. Josephine, meanwhile, dies in the top lane as he gets trapped in the rolling walls, presumably from Wrath of Pharaoh. Yeah, that was used. Dance Floor goes down as well, and he's going to get finished off by the Disham's Entangle. And Rhapsody's actually hasted. Going to look for another kill here on the Seal Kid. Has the Staccato Stun up, but the impalement will get popped, and she will just decide that's not worth it. Bubbles instead going to get found. Bastet has full mana, though, so should be able to get out of pretty much any situation, and he just self-shifts away. So that's going to be the end of that engagement. Parasite continuing to farm the opposing jungle. The GPM charts here. Yeah, that's not pretty for the Legion side. 235 gold per minute, lowest farmer here on the Hellborn, and that's Seal Kid. Higher than everybody except for that Alpha Core on the Legion side, who's doing pretty well. But really, they need to have more farm on more heroes to be able to compete. The push is really great, and the team fight's a little bit better on the Legion side, but it's not going to be enough if they want to be able to avoid constantly getting picked off and eventually just dying in team fights. Because it doesn't matter. At some point, if you're that far behind in items, having really great team fight is not going to help you. Because, well, it'll help you, it just won't win you the game, because obviously at some point you need to have other stuff. Staccato Suns go down, and on top of the Entangle, Face Hug plus the Codex will allow a finish off an Ophelia, and he's going to take over the Catman and just run away. So Parasite should be fine here. Has Seal Kid coming in. There's the chain reactions onto Dimension Shaman. She's in a lot of trouble. Catman Chomp goes down, and Disham's going to drop here as well. Rhapsody and Pharaoh going to get chased down. And Pharaoh puts some on rolls up, trying to save people, but Rhapsody's going to fall anyway. Shell Surf going to help finish off Pharaoh, and the TP will not be successful. That's the game. So Legion side probably not figuring they were real contenders in this game at any point. Obviously going up against BMG, that's a bit of a rough draw, but they do put up a decent fight, and they CC it about 17 minutes, and I appreciate that, because sometimes teams will let this go on and on and on and on and on. It'll be annoying, but this game's over. BMG takes a nice early victory, and we'll move to the next match.